welcome to this edition of our Government Affairs podcast. I am Aisha Mapp, and this month we're honoring Women's History Month by spotlighting the incredible contributions of women in government. We had the distinct pleasure of speaking with 5 dynamic female legislators from right here in the state of New Jersey. Assemblywoman Shavonda Sumter, Assemblywoman Nancy Munoz, Assemblywoman Tennille McCoy, Assemblywoman Linda Carter, and Senator Angela McKnight. In this episode, you'll hear select clips from each of our conversations, just a preview of the powerful stories, insights, and experiences they shared. The full episodes will be available on our YouTube channel and website by the end of this week, so be sure to check them out. Let's dive in. So how do you balance the demands of public service with personal and family life, and what keeps you motivated to continue to do this work?
So if you want to continue to serve, you have to serve yourself in a sense of you have to make sure that you are doing everything possible to keep yourself healthy. So there's this balance in public sector with the public, with the personal life. It's always a challenge. You have to mark out like that one night, which is date night, right? You have to mark out that one day that's family day. You always want to be able to stay grounded. You have to understand, remember, this is why I'm doing this work. Where was I on day one when I decided to run? And how did I feel when I first was sworn in on January 8th? What was that feeling? What was that feeling when I won that particular night on, election day? So it's those things that I think, one, you want to stay humble in what you do, but I think you also want to have that level of motivation that you want to have this commitment, a long-term commitment with your community and with the people who need you and who you're going to affect their lives daily, right? On the decisions that you make in Trenton, but you have to be healthy. So knowing that my efforts can create positive change, that keeps me going. Even on the most demanding days, I try to make sure if I say I'm going to do something, I complete it.
I think number one, the family does come first, and people have to realize that. Our schedule tends to, I was in Trenton today as a Thursday. So we go Mondays and Thursdays. I'm the budget officer. So then we go Mondays and Wednesdays, but you almost always, and we like to keep like a Friday free. We can have events on Saturday, but not the whole day on Saturday. Right. So you block out the time. Like today is my grandson's 3rd birthday.
Oh,
he lives in Connecticut. So I will be going up there on Sunday to celebrate his birthday because, again, I can't go today. Well, his parents work anyway, but the whole point is you make sure you block out the time for your family. And, if your children understand that you're doing it for the right reason, like they know I'm very principled and they know I'm committed to the people of the state of New Jersey, that makes it easier.
I shut the phone off at times. I set boundaries, right? Because when I'm home, it's 7, 8 o'clock. I need to be home. I'm done. That could wait until tomorrow. If it's an emergency, you call 911. You call 911. But now it's time for me to just be regular Angela, right? There's times I don't answer my phone in the morning at a certain time because that's me. So I set boundaries. I use my calendar and I take a nap. Sometimes I take a 10-minute nap in the morning before I leave out because I'm already up early. So I'll take a nap in the morning so I can get that rejuvenation. So you have to schedule time. You have to be mindful and you can say no. It's okay to say no because you can't be everywhere and you can't be everything to everyone. It's okay. And that no may not be forever. It could be no, not right now. I can do that tomorrow, or I could do that in 2 days. And it's okay because when you're gone, then someone else going to be there doing what you were doing.
Correct. I think that is a difficulty that I think specifically we as women struggle with, the no. And the no final stop. We give a no because I can explanation.
Because when you say yes, do you give an explanation? No.
New Jersey has made strides in increasing female representation in government. What do you think still needs to change to make politics more accessible and equitable?
We need to be able to embrace more women and let them know that, listen, you can do it. right? Don't be afraid because, at times politics can be scary, right? You can be like, oh, I don't want to do that. But when you come in there with a caring heart and other women, such as myself and others, when we embrace other women at the table, they'll be more receptive to join, as well as we need to back women financially because it takes money, it takes support, all different types of support to say, okay, we got you. We will help you. We're in this together.
I think we still need to make sure that people get out and they make a choice. You have to vote. You must get out there and you must make a choice. You can't sit up there and think that this person can't make a change, but look at what it is. If you want representation for your area to be the way that your area looks demographically, then you have to go out and you have to vote. But you also have to support. Your voices are a way of making the issues known. You have to make sure that you're reaching out to your legislators. You have to make sure that you're having those conversations and telling them what you feel. But we have to be willing to make sure that our information is heard and be willing to stand up and make sure that we speak out about what it is that we need. And, the only way that your legislators are going to know that is by hearing from you. And that makes a big difference.
I do wonder how we get more women involved. And I do believe that it's the financial pieces that lock a lot of women out. Time, very critical when we are responsible for our household, the well-being. We do have a couple of members within the last decade, and I'm thinking of Senator Brittany Timberlake, who came in while they were pregnant and having children while in the legislature, but plus working a full-time job.
Right.
No easy task at all. So making sure that we have maternity leaves that support our women in the legislature. When Senator Winona Littman first came in, there was no women's bathroom. So creating spaces for us to thrive in the legislature are all things we need to think about.
Can you share some of the biggest challenges you faced as a woman running for office and how you've overcome them?
So a couple things. When we think of women in politics, there's a couple of challenges. One, I am an African American woman and proud of that, but we are in the minority. Two, fundraising is a big part of politics. Money means a lot to get your message out. When I think about all the things you can do with money, as far as feed a family, take care of your housing needs, and really eradicate some of the poverty, the wealthiest countries in the world, it's always hard to digest. While I understand it, for women, we typically don't raise dollar for dollar with our male counterparts, let alone a non-minority male. The reason I always bring this up is because we have the same power of one vote. Right? When we're passing legislation, you need 41 votes in the Assembly, 21 votes in the Senate. Our vote holds just as much weight.
Yes.
But yet we have to compel people, change the hearts of leaders and people who have access to money, which are primarily non-minority men, to fund our campaigns.
One of the things my dad always told me, hey, Tennille, you are always going to have to give 110%. Any room that you walk into, no matter all the degrees, the letters, whatever you have behind your name, the thing that they're going to see when you walk into the room is that you are a Black woman. So it does not matter if you graduated from the London School of Economics or NYU Business School. You still are going to have to lead in a very authoritative way, but also in a way where it does not make people feel so intimidated. And with that, you have to be able to have a balance, but remain steadfast in the mission. And I say to people, they are going to knock you down. They are going to set up barriers, but it is so important how you get yourself up.
I think probably one of the biggest challenges that I, as a woman, face is probably fundraising, honestly. It's like very difficult. I'm a nurse by profession, as you know. I think certain professions are there. It's easier to raise money. I.e., if you're a lawyer, there's a lot of people who have connections to you through the government. So being a nurse and not used to asking people for money, I think one of the biggest challenges that I feel that I face is that. I think it's harder for women to ask for money in general because we have to realize that we're not asking for the money for us, but for the money to empower us to do our jobs. And unfortunately, the reality is that we definitely need to raise money in order to get reelected because, it's just the reality of the situation. You have to run a campaign. We run every 2 years, which means that as soon as you get elected, you're thinking about the next election. And it's a constant cycle. So that to me is one of the more difficult things.
When you walk into a room and you're walking into a room that you're the only woman, the only female, and they're looking at you, how do you make sure that your voice is being heard? And that is the biggest challenge. And you have to be able to be willing to step up and have those conversations. And sometimes you just need to point out some of the hard stuff, some of the things that you really wouldn't point out, but it's like, wait a minute, time out, and you might have to just stop. And I've done that in many conversations. I would be in a couple of meetings and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, hold it. Why are you going to flip on me because I'm bringing this up?
Right.
Because I'm a woman or I'm sitting here, don't try to dismiss me.
Dismiss me, demean me. Right.
Right, demean me. But I just want you to hear what I have to say. And you can take the pieces you need to take from it. You may not agree with me 100%, but I need you to see my perspective.
What advice would you give to young women who are interested in pursuing a career in public service?
If you want to pursue politics as well, you need to come up with a passion. So, for example, if you're the type of person who loves animals, right, who loves cats, then you need to be the cat lady. Right? You need to be out there researching and finding out what is going on with these cats, what legislation is out there, what do we need to do, and then you be that person. You want to be the subject matter expert in a particular passion that you have. And I say that to say, when you're out here campaigning, you know that you can talk about the work that you've done in helping cats, the work that you've done in helping seniors, or the work that you've done in helping youth. Whatever your passion is, that's where you start. Because you want to be that lady. Like, I'm called the senior lady, and I'm good with that. You could call me the senior lady. Go ahead and call me that. I know, and I continuously learn more and more about seniors, how I can help them, what issues they're going through, and then I can do some legislation. I can advocate for them. So you have to find at least one thing that you're passionate about so that you can build up your resume.
Well, I was thinking about lots of women wait to be asked. What I think is don't wait to be asked. Like lots of women who I know have gotten involved about a particular issue that really made them really fired up. Some people it's the general politics. For many women, it's a particular issue, whether it's a underfunding of your school system or whatever it is that gets them fired up. And then they realize that they really can make a huge difference. So don't wait to be asked is what I would say.
You got to be able to be bold. You have to be able to, you're out there, you're doing the things that you need to do, and don't be afraid. Don't sit there and try to say, well, I regret not doing. Listen, what is the worst that can happen is it doesn't work out, then you make a change.
Right.
Be willing to change. And that is the one thing. And I tell, the consistent things in life is change and time. Time keeps ticking and it waits for nobody. So don't wait, and say, hey, I'll do it next week. You can do it now, do it now.
Right.
Be bold enough to do it and be willing to speak up.
It is so important to understand what is inside of you. What is that passion? What is running through your veins? And so when you want to run for office, you want to implement a particular project, it's really about having those champions around you. So building a strong coalition of supporters, letting your work actually speak for itself. So when I say you doing a project, rolling out an excellence, and also making sure that the priority is to make sure that you're mentoring and you're uplifting other women. So ensuring that we continue to kind of break down those barriers. One of the things I started the New Jersey Black Women's Collective, and it's really about providing women with the necessary tools and resources to actually propel to the next level.
What is a word of wisdom, word of advice that you would give to a young lady who is looking to be where you are right now as a legislator?
Celebrate you. And I say that with a genuine heart. No matter how big or how small the task is. I want you to thank yourself. I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to thank yourself for getting up today. Thank yourself for writing that thesis. Thank yourself for making those 5 calls. Appreciate yourself, and also be you. You cannot be anyone else, right? If you're the person who always smile, then you smile. If you're the person who always asks questions, ask those questions. So celebrate / thank yourself and be you, and not a carbon copy.
Determination and conviction, belief in your principles, and stick to it. Don't let anybody try to make you go off of your moral compass. Like, I don't have any other job in the state of New Jersey besides this. So I don't have any children employed in the state of New Jersey or any relatives. So I feel that nobody can influence me in the wrong way. So what I'm saying is this: believe in what you believe in, be true to your beliefs, and stick to it. You may get pushback. And I said to somebody recently who I don't think agreed with something that I voted on, I said, you can agree with me 98% of the time, but even if you don't agree with me for that 2%, you still agree with me 98%. So work toward, sticking to your principles, having a high level of energy. I have a tremendous amount of energy, and I think you need it for this job. You really need energy, and you need stick-to-itiveness, and sticking to your principles.
To my next legislators, I say find your passion, work, serve, remember who you are. Know your why, right? Because when you show up, you got to know your why. A lot's going to come after you. Come after you, come to you. You need to know your why, what you're fighting for. And it's your job to carry the baton forward. Everyone has a leg in the race. Everyone has a leg in the race. So if everyone do their part, run their mile, we'll be further along.
What an inspiring group of women, right? We are so grateful to Assemblywoman Sumter, Munoz, McCoy, Carter, and Senator McKnight for taking the time to share their voices and visions with us. Remember, these were just clips, so if you want to hear the full conversations, head on over to our YouTube channel or website by the end of the week. As we close out Women's History Month, we hope these stories leave you as motivated as we are to continue supporting, celebrating, and amplifying women in government. Thank you for tuning in to this special edition of our podcast. Until next time, stay engaged, stay informed, and stay connected.